To an outsider, a finalized shipping fixture looks like a broken transmission, a cluster of letters and numbers devoid of standard grammar. These messages are dense with strings of text like WWDSHEX, FIOT, and IBON. To a shipbroker or a chartering manager, this is a precise legal matrix. Every abbreviation represents a specific allocation of multi-million-dollar liabilities. This matrix is the charter party. It is the master contract that dictates exactly how the physical risk of the ocean, the cost of time in port, and the ultimate freight money are divided between the owner and the hiree. To operate in these markets, professionals rely on the precise vocabulary of the charter party and the protocol used to negotiate it. We are walking through a commercial fixture to show the financial machinery operating underneath the text. Learning this syntax is the primary defense against multi-million-dollar liability in global trade logistics. Before analyzing the contract, you must account for the physical reality of the assets. These are massive structures moving through heavy ocean swells, and the financial stakes match the physical scale. There are two primary frameworks for hiring a ship: the voyage charter and the time charter. In a voyage charter, the ship is employed for a specific route. Remuneration is calculated as freight, which is the total tonnage of the cargo multiplied against a fixed rate. In this model, the ship owner bears the risk of operational delays. If a storm slows the vessel or a port is congested, the owner pays for that lost time out of their own profit margin. A time charter shifts that burden. The vessel is hired for a specific period, and remuneration is paid as a daily or monthly hire. The charterer directs the vessel's movements, and because they are paying for the time regardless of progress, they absorb the cost of operational delays. The extreme alternative is the bareboat or demise charter, where the charterer becomes the virtual owner, taking full responsibility for the crew and the daily management of the ship. Selecting the framework locks in the baseline allocation of operational risk before the specific terms of the fixture are negotiated. In a voyage charter, the most contentious variable is time in port, governed by the concept of lay time. Lay time is the calculable period allowed to the charter for loading or discharging cargo without making payments additional to the freight. The clock only starts when three conditions are met. The vessel must arrive, it must be physically ready to load, and a written notice of readiness, or NOR, must be tendered. However, ships often find no berth available upon arrival, leaving them stuck at the anchorage while the owner's timeline is threatened. Owners protect themselves with the acronym WIBON, whether in berth or not. This allows the lay time clock to start ticking even if the ship is physically waiting outside the inner port. WITHPON, whether in free pratique or not, serves a similar purpose, protecting the owner against delays from health clearance formalities. To counter these, charterers negotiate for protective clauses that pause the clock during periods when work cannot proceed. SHEX stands for Sundays and Holidays Accepted, while WWD signifies a weather working day. Both terms ensure that the lay time count pauses during weekends or weather that prevents cargo handling. If the charterer exceeds the allowed lay time, they must pay demurrage, daily compensation to the owner for the delay. If they finish early, they may earn dispatch, a bonus paid by the owner that is typically set at half the demurrage rate. Every abbreviation in these time clauses is a direct negotiation over who pays for a ship that is not moving. Beyond the cost of time, the parties must divide the expense of moving the actual cargo. Given the volume of material, these costs are substantial. Under gross terms, the ship owner is responsible for paying all stevedores, tallying, and crane operations. Most dry cargo fixtures use FIO, free in and out. This acronym shifts the entire expense of loading and discharging from the owner to the charterer. Bulk commodities like grain or coal present a physical problem. They do not naturally settle flat within the ship's holds. To address this, the term FIOT, free in and out and trimmed, forces the charterer to pay for leveling the cargo into the wings and corners of the hold to ensure vessel stability. Omitting that single T can unexpectedly burden a party with the costs of heavy equipment and manual labor. These terms are forged through a specific chronological pipeline designed to move parties toward a binding agreement. The process begins with investigation. A charterer circulates an order, and owners respond with indications, non-binding ideas of the freight level they are willing to accept. Negotiations officially start with the firm offer. This is a legally binding proposal subject to a strict time limit. The response is the counter. Using the accept format, parties agree on the majority of terms while isolating specific points of disagreement for further rounds. This exchange continues until the main terms are settled, yet the deal remains conditional. Step 4 introduces subjects, or subs. These are conditional logic gates that prevent the deal from becoming absolute until certain requirements are met. Subject stem allows a charterer to verify the cargo is ready for loading, while subject bod protects a manager until they have approval from their board of directors. This algorithm ensures that neither party is fully committed until asymmetrical information, like cargo availability, is confirmed. Once the details are finalized and all subjects are waived, the parties reach a clean fixture. The contract is now absolute. The codified text of the shipping telex is the final expression of this agreement. However, precise syntax only works if final drafting eliminates spatial and temporal ambiguity. Using phrases like about 150 days without guarantee for a time charter duration creates dangerous room for maneuver if the market shifts. Vaguely highlighted geographic trading limits, such as a Japan-Colombo range, are frequent sources of multi-million-dollar disputes. When these boundaries are tested, misinterpretations lead to devastating arbitration losses, as a ship may be legally barred from lucrative intermediate ports. Even simple descriptions like Mediterranean not east of Cape Passero can lead to damages if parties lack an identical understanding of the term. Professional mastery of commercial chartering involves the enforcement of definitional clarity to eliminate risk.